Teaching your kids 10 homophones that are easily confused. We have two sentences that say, the boy blew bubbles, but the word blue sounds the same but is spelled differently in each of these sentences. The first one is B-L-U-E, which means the color blue, and the second one has blue, B-L-E-W, which means the action or the verb. The second one is the correct sentence with the correct blue. Explain to kids that homophones are words that sound alike but are spelled differently, as the first word B-L-E-W and the second word B-L-U-E, and they have different meanings. The first sentence represents the picture, the boy blew bubbles, with blue, B-L-E-W, the verb. And the second sentence represents the picture, the flower is blue, spelled with B-L-U-E, the color. The first four sets of homophones involve a contraction. Number one, it's and its. The first one shows ownership, and the second one, its, is a contraction for it is. Number two, there, and there. The first, there is ownership. The second, there is a contraction meaning they are. And the third one means in or at a place. Number three is your. The first one means ownership. The second one is a contraction meaning you are. And the fourth one is whose. The first one means ownership, and the second, whose, is a contraction meaning who is. Now introduce kids to the first set of homophones. It's ITS, which shows ownership, and IT apostrophe S, which is a contraction meaning it is. Let's look at the first example of ownership. His dog and its puppies are eating. Its refers to the dog's puppies. They are the dogs. They belong to the dog. The second one, he is holding his dog and its bone. It refers to the owner, the dog. It is the dog's bone. Her camera and its charger are new. The charger belongs to the camera. It is the camera's charger. Now let's go to the contraction. It's IT apostrophe S stands for it is. It's time to play. To check this one, we can put in it is to try it out. It is time to play. And yes, that makes sense. Let's look at our second example. It's a large hippo. It is a large hippo. Yes, that makes sense. Now let's look at number two. There for ownership, there for they are, and there for in or at a place. Let's go back to their ownership. Their dog is playful, their lunches were delicious, and their work was finished early. Now let's go to the contraction there, meaning they are. They're always playful. They are always playful. They're at the park. They are at the park. They're riding the bus home. they are riding the bus home. And they're in or at a place. I saw my friend there. There is the library. I was there earlier. There is the grocery store. The tractor is there. There is in the closet. Now introduce kids to number 3, your and your. Y-O-U-R shows ownership, and Y-O-U apostrophe R-E is the contraction for you are. Let's go back to ownership. The 3 examples are, that is your cat. Your cat is scratching the chair, and this is your favorite ride. And the 3 examples for the contraction you are you're studying a lot. You are studying a lot. You're all packed for the trip. You are all packed for the trip. And you're a great cook. You are a great cook. Now introduce kids to number 4, whose, meaning ownership, and whose, meaning who is. Let's look at the 3 examples for whose, meaning ownership. Whose lunchbox is this? Guess whose watch this is? And this is Ben, whose dog is Duke. And then for the contraction whose, W-H-O apostrophe S, which stands for who is. Who's going to make the first basket? Who is going to make the first basket? Who's going to the grocery store? Who is going to the grocery store? And who's going to empty the dishwasher? Meaning who is going to empty the dishwasher? Have kids choose the correct word to finish each sentence. Now have kids choose the correct word to finish each sentence. Their hint is remind kids to look for ownership. Okay, so each example has one homophone that means ownership and one that is a contraction. So let's get started. Dog is playful. There is the dog. Both words say there and there. This is ownership, meaning the dog belongs to them. And this is a contraction. They are. So their dog is playful. It looks like it's ownership, but let's try the contraction. They are. They are dog is playful. That does not make sense. Whose dog is it? It is their dog. Let's go to the next one. This is your favorite ride. Whose favorite ride is it? It is your favorite ride. Let's just try the contraction to make sure. This is you are favorite ride. That does not make sense. So it is ownership. He is holding his dog and its bone. Whose bone? Its bone, meaning the dog. So let's just try the contraction to make sure. He is holding his dog and it is bone? No, it is ownership. That is your cat. Whose cat? Your cat. Let's just try the contraction. You are.
That is you are cat. That doesn't make sense. It is your cat. Whose meaning who is. Whose watch is this? It's a question we don't know. So we do not know who it belongs to. Let's try who is. Whose watch is this? Oh, that really doesn't make sense. So it is ownership. We are looking for who owns the watch. And our last one, both sounding the same, there and there. Their work was finished early. Whose work? Their work. The work belongs to them. But we will just make sure. We will double check and try the contraction they are. They are work was finished early. That doesn't make sense. So they're all the ownership words. Their dog is playful. This is your favorite ride. He is holding his dog and its bone. That is your cat. Whose watch is this? And their work was finished early.
And this is a completed example. In this activity, have kids choose the correct word to finish each sentence. Remind kids to look for contractions and go over the contractions with them in each sentence. For example, there and there, the second one is the contraction for they are. And then have them try that in the sentence. They are at the park. Continue the same way until all of the sentences are completed. This is a completed example. Now introduce kids to homophone number 5. It is blue, the verb, and blue, the color, and adjective. So let's start with the verb. The boy blew bubbles. The wind blew the tree. And the fan blew the papers. Now we move over to blue, the adjective, telling the color of something. The flowers are blue. I see 2 blue whales. Her blue chair is big. Number 6 takes a lot of practice. It is 2, 2, and 2. Which one to pick? TO2 means in the direction of. I am going to the library. We went to the store earlier. They walked to the park. 2, TWO, is a number. The dog has 2 owners. The 2 girls are eating lunch. And the 2 students are working on reports. 2 TOO can mean also, or it can mean more than enough. I ate a lot of turkey too. That means also, like others. The cake was too sweet. That means more than enough. Too sweet. And the ride home was too long. That also means more than enough. It was a long ride. Now let's go to number 7. The words are for and for. The first for shows purpose or given to. Something is given to. So let's look at the first sentence. The sugar is for the donut. Its purpose is to be sprinkled on the donut. The second sentence, the ketchup is for the cheeseburger. The ketchup is there to be placed on the cheeseburger to make it taste better. And the third, this is the perfect gift for my friend. It is to be given to their friend. Now let's go to the number 4, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 horses on the ranch. In 4 days, we are going to the fair. And he needed $4 more to buy the bike. Have kids choose the correct sentence. In the first sentence, or the first example, they will have to find the sentence with the correct to. In the second sentence, the correct for. In the third sentence, the correct for. And in the fourth sentence, the correct blue. And this is the completed example. Now introduce kids to see the verb and see the noun. Let's look at the first see, that is a verb, an action word. I see a skunk. I want to see a lion at the zoo. Do you want to see my cute guinea pig? And see the noun. A sea is a body of salt water. They live in the sea. Boats sail in the sea. And now introduce kids to number 9. Then and then. Then, THAN, is a comparison. The red crayon is taller than the orange crayon. Does a hamburger taste better than a hot dog? And some people think cats are better pets than dogs. And then THEN tells when. They planted a vegetable garden, then made a salad. She returned home, then unpacked. She blended oranges, then made orange juice. And now it's number 10. Wood, WOOD, the noun, and would, WOULD, the verb. Let's look at wood, the noun. His doghouse is made of wood. Wood comes from tree trunks. And he brought wood home to build a fence. The would, WOULD, is a verb, and some sentences including the verb would are: I would like cake for dessert. Would you please clean your closet? And would you ride the bus with me? Have kids choose the correct sentence. In our example, we have, he brought wood home to build a fence, and he brought wood home to build a fence. Kids have to decide between would, WOULD, and would, WOOD, and the correct one would be would, the noun, the second one. Then in the first problem, kids have to decide between would, WOULD, and WOOD, And the second one, then and then. T-H-E-N or T-H-A-N. And the third one, C or C, S-E-E or S-E-A. And the last one, then or then, T-H-E-N or T-H-A-N. And this is the completed example. This is a quick reference chart for children to refer to about the words that they learned in this video. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. And as always, the link for all the templates will be listed in the description section.